exploring space. So, exploring space, you know very well that branch of science that deals with space or the universe, right? It is correct. You, it is astronomy. Now, you probably heard about the Big Bang Theory. So, it's all about the universe being one big ball of massive mass, and probably there was an explosion, and as time passed, small pieces attracted other pieces and objects to form what we know as stars, solar systems, and galaxies. Remember that this is just an idea. We weren't there, so we don't have pictures. The evidence we do have is indirect evidence. Now, which brings up the assignment. It's an extension of the Big Bang Theory, like some sort of a creation story. So, on your end, if you go back to Google Classroom, you would be asked to initially click on the link here so that you are given a preview of the Indigenous perspective on sky stories. So, this material was from MF NERD, Manitoba First Nations Education Center. So, let's see your perspective about the constellations or the group of stars that we see in the skies. So, the Ininu, it's a Cree, from the Cree people. The Big Dipper, they refer to it as Mr. Musqua, or another constellation that we know of probably as Little Dipper or Ursa Major would be the dog stars, or they call it Atima Achacuso. And another constellation of some significance is the turtle. Of course, this constellation we know as Cepheus. So if you try and look at the skies on a starry night, it really would take a trained eye to just be able to see these bright stars so that you can discern more or less the kind of constellation that you are looking at. Now, you can also concentrate on the moon in the assignment for the week, or the sun. So the sun, Pisim, it's also called Kizis by the Anishinaabe tribe, or We by the Lakota tribe. And of course, the Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights, sometimes referred to as Sipiyuk Nimitowak, or spirits dancing. And this one, the constellation Pleiades, meaning hole in the sky. So that's the basis really of the making of the star blanket, if you are familiar with that. So very interesting read. So I would want you to just go over this material so that when you get into the work at hand, then you have some idea on what to focus on. So here, this is another slide another set of slides in the assignment, but you can only view it, not really use it as a template. So I want you to use your own Google slide for the assignment. So the assignment is, I just called it hashtag Indigenous Sky Story Retell Challenge. So we will all have the once upon a time format in starting off the story, and free choice, choose one from the link that we just viewed. Can be about the sun, the moon, or any of the constellations mentioned there. And I would be looking at the hyperlinks. The creative twist is this. Of course, you have the Google slide that's uh, a max point of 80%. The 20% can come from you retelling the story in your own way. So, if I could have that voice component in the submission of the assignment, that is appreciated. So, as always, let me just model how the assignment would probably look like, right? I always do that if you've noticed it. So, I've chosen Mr. Masqua, the grizzly bear constellation, for this assignment. And as always, don't forget to cite your credits towards the end of the slide. So you can probably use one, two, three, but no more than three slides. I think that would be too much, right? Unless there would be so many images or hyperlinks. And usually the use of hyperlinks would reduce the number of images pasted on the Google slide. So let's check out what I have here. So, A Creative Legend of Mista by Miss Fallon. So you can write your name. So notice I have here my first hyperlink. If I click on that, hopefully it would be my face. Yes, it is. So let's now go back. Okay, so this is just an exemplar. It's a make believe, it's a story, a creative story. So it started off with Once Upon a Time. So I would say, Once upon a time, a little girl, Mista, went outside and lay down on the grass one starry night. She was struck by the bright seven stars. So how would this look like? So created a hyperlink on this. So probably this is what Mr. saw. So one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, seven stars. And thought it looked like a soup ladle. Did you know that once in a poor village there was a big drought and there was no harvest? Drought, what is that? How does it look like? So again, you can create a hyperlink for this. Poor Calabaw, the only animal that helps plow the land, died. So what died? An animal. Calabaw, what's that? So I created a hyperlink and it looked like a mini bison, right? So people in the village cut up the meat and shared it with everyone. The bone soup was marvelous. Everyone had a feast. They used the big ladle. The big ladle, how does it look like? So this is again another hyperlink. So going to the next slide. But they forgot to invite the old witch lady Gigi. In her madness, she stole the big soup ladle and threw it up in the skies, never to be seen again. Soon it rained and the land became fertile again. I created the fertile here. So I create a hyperlink. So try and see if there's something here. So probably this is how it would look like. So you can see plants or crops growing again. Parents never forgot how the big soup ladle saved that day of drought and retold the story to their children every time they cast their eyes upon the stars. The end. So, Mr. Maxwell is also known as the constellation Ursa Major. Fact, according to the legend, Ursa Major was once the beautiful maiden Callisto, whom the god Zeus had an affair with. They have a child, a son, Arcas, and to protect the two, because Zeus, as you all know, he has a very jealous wife, Hera. So what Zeus did was to turn Callisto and the sun into bears, and of course they threw them up high up in the sky. So this is just an exemplar by Miss F here. So it's a challenge on your end. I know you can be more imaginative, more creative. So as you can see, we're adding that indigenous perspective to our learning of the sky stories. So the Big Bang Theory is just one about the universe, but it would be nice to just honor and celebrate also other cultures, right? So I hope you will have fun doing this, Falcons, and try and just do the best that you can.